So today we're going to go over base running airflow. There's a lot of skepticism on how to get the number. A lot of people just go with a basic and then add to it. I'm going to show you a little bit easier way to do it. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to go in your histograms, layouts, or graphs, whatever you want to call it, and go down. This one's called math, but it's just because you're using the mass airflow. Make sure that you know what unit you are using. I log pounds per minute, so I'm using pounds per minute. And then if you go into my tune, pounds per minute. Now this table right here is in my car with a 236, 248 can. You really don't need that much airflow. As you notice, they're all the same. It's a manual car. There's not a big difference. For an auto car, I would recommend doing it in park and then gear and let it idle around and stuff and get your basics. But first step, let's say this is all stock values, so let me open up my stock file and idle airflow final minimum. That's your base running airflow. This is for a throttle by wire car, so it's going to be pretty much the same, but I think yours is literally just called base running airflow. And then yours over here is going to be by engine temp, which I can show you how to change. And then I believe it's park and neutral, and then gear, not 100% sure. But look at all these random spit and sputter numbers, even though it really doesn't matter that much. I've had a lot of good luck with just unifying this entire first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, neutral, park, reverse stuff. So first step, go up 0. Trying to get that glare out of there for you. Equals. So now that that is zeroed, you won't have anything messing with your airflow. And then what you're going to do, come over here, like I said, graph layout. You're going to go here, you're going to add new. I already have one made, but then you're going to click, it's going to say add sensor. You can go engine, airflow, mass airflow rate. Now when you're doing math logging, a lot of people, you have to use frequency because you need hertz against AFR or short-term long trim. But what you're looking for here is the mass airflow rate. You can use SAE or mass airflow. It really doesn't matter. They're both going to come out to be the same. And when you do that, just double click it. It's going to say, are you sure you know what you're doing? Just, yes, I'm good. And now we have it in pounds per minute. So if you want to double check to see what you're in, go back to your tune, open up base airflow. I just click top right corner, units. Oh, we are in pounds per minute. That's awesome. Okay. Yours may be different. So just make sure, it doesn't matter what you log in. You could log in, I don't even care. I mean, there's kilograms per second, kilograms a minute, kilograms an hour, grams second, pounds per hour, pounds per minute, and pounds per second. You could really use whatever you wanted, as long as you're logging it in here, and it's all the same as what you want to put into your tune. I use pounds per minute because it's a simple number. It's like 1.2 or 1.3 or 1.4. Doesn't really matter. Now, to build the second part of it, you're going to need to go back into your tune, and you're going to click this. You're going to click the blue, and if we want the top part axis, that's going to be column. Column is always the top. You're going to say copy labels. And then, go back into the scanner. Under here, since it was RPM, we're going to do engine speed. Engine speed is RPM. Then you want to click all this. I already have it populated, but select all, and Control V, and that is actually a paste function, Control V. It's very easy, I'm sure you know this. And now you have all of that, and now it's already set up. It's down to 2 decimal points, it's not a big deal. It's about 39 degrees outside, so my car is actually probably going to pull in. It's going to sense more air than it should. But as that sits right now, I have no idle hunt, no idle, like, dipping down into super low, unless last night it was under 20 degrees and it dipped a few times, but, you know, it's getting a lot more airflow now. So now we're going to log it. And what do we have here? Oh, okay. So let it sit here for about 30 seconds to get a good solid cell count. You can click this C right here, and you can get I like to see around 1,000 counts per cell. And I'm going to show you how to make it jump cells to actually get a real one. So, oh, sorry, I did that off screen. Right up here, a little power button. Engine, general, go to idle. Say, oh, we want an 800 cell. Type in 800, idle control on. It is working. So this little number right here, if I can get this glare out of here. Where the hell is it? This is really hard to do. So, okay, we're over 1,000. Now, we want to go up to 1,000 RPMs. So we're just going to keep clicking up. It's going to go by 10, or you could type in. Now, you really don't want to sit in between the two numbers long, because that'll give you a fake number, and you really don't want a fake number, as everyone knows it's tuning their cars. Fake data or wrong data is bad data, and that doesn't help you. So, let it build up. Get 1,000. Come on. We're at 600. 700. It takes about 30 seconds per RPM area. And depending on how much influence I get on this, I'll also show you guys how to use this same exact table to calculate how much idle adaptive spark you need. That one's a lot trickier, and it'd probably be a 30-minute video. Okay, we're over 1,000 hits. And we'll let it hit 1,400 just for fun. Now, a lot of big cam cars are not going to idle super low. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to 1,200. And you can see the cell counts ticking away. That's good. You're getting a lot of data. So right now we got a nice trend. It's 2.1, 2.3, 2.71. So it is getting data. Alright, and that's almost at 1,000. And now we're gonna bring it back down to 6. We're gonna go for 650, see if she'll idle there. I'm not 100% sure. It should, but it's kind of cold, so we'll see if she'll idle down there. Alright. As you can see, the wideband, it's a little bit rich down there because I don't ever see my car down there. But as you can see, it's getting cell counts down there. And we'll start with 500. That's completely fine. Now let's see. I think the limit on this is 1,200 RPMs for the idle, because you really don't want to use a throttle pedal because it's very inconsistent. But I think my max is 12. Oh no, I can go higher than 1,200. Okay, so we'll actually go to 1,600 then. You can also use this tool right here to get some of the basic airflow done if you just did a 2-bar tune, and you'll see a very nice trend, and then you'll be able to adjust most of your AFRs. Like, that's good. That's good stuff right there. That's what you want to keep. I found a lot of cams like to run leaner, and that helps with a lot of surge issues. So cruising, I'm right around like 14.8 to 15.5, somewhere in there in the heavier bucking surging areas. It was around 15 to 2, 15.5, and I don't know, it seemed to really help out my issues with a huge cam in a manual car that doesn't weigh anything. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to close this. We're actually going to click the A again to see the actual value. Pause the log. And we're going to take this. Oh. Copy. We're going to go in here, highlight the entire first row, paste. Oh, you say, oh, but what about all this other data over here? All you really have to do, obviously we see a trend, so each cell, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so that's a 4-point spread, that's a 2-point spread, and that's a 4-point spread again. So the airflow is pretty much the same in here. That's when we'll be doing most of your idling. But here's the big jumps. So I like to come about here, about 5,000, about a few cells away, see the trend. So if that's 3.5, let's just say 4, 4.5. Yeah, you know what? We're just going to go with a 5. That should be fine. I mean, if you have any questions, you can really just compare it to the stock file and see how big of a jump there is. Oh, so it goes from 3 to 0.8, so there's not really a huge swing. Is 5 really worth it? You'll see in a second. So 5, we're going to highlight everything from 1600, the highest data we got, all the way to 5. Interpolate. And then you go, you know, that seems a little high to me. Then let's move the 5 out to the 8,000 RPM. And we're going to do the same thing, 1600 RPM. Use the data you have to create your tables. Oh, okay, that looks a lot better. And here, we'll just say 1.5. I mean, you're not going to spend any time at 250 RPM, so it's important to have a nice smooth table as opposed to force. If you can get data for 250 RPM, I would go for it, but chances are you're not. And here is the key, 0.8. Multiply. Say 650 is 1.37, and here it was 1.72. If you put in just 1.72, you will have, it will start idling up and you'll have issues. So you have to take out 20%. So multiply it by 0.8. This entire board, even what you put in, even this 5, everything about it. Now you have a nice smooth linear. So we're going to copy, paste, paste, paste. It's very repetitive. This is a lot of tuning. Okay, now we have it. You can even look at it as a graph. It's very, very smooth. And you can even smooth that more, as a matter of fact. That nudge right there. I wonder. Let's take a look at it. 1600, there's a 28 jump. So you can even smooth that out a little bit more. Smooth. Now it's got a more gradual look to it. It's a little bit smoother in here. Smooth. There we go. That looks a lot better. So when you're coming down, so you're driving around 3,035, you're going to push the pedal in, and it's going to immediately start dropping down. The problem is, if you don't have enough airflow in here, the engine doesn't know. Like, you were telling the engine how much airflow that is coming is going to happen. So if you get an issue, quickest, easiest way, say it's stalling out and it's falling. Well, your target idle is 800, so let's just say we'll add percentage in here. This will get you very close. You're gonna still have to play with it a little bit, but this will get you very close to your number, and that is what is important. You're not guessing, you actually know what it should be at. So let's say we need 10%. So 1.1, 800 and under, multiply. And then again, smooth. Actually, you can just interpolate. That'll give you the dead center. This is anything under 1200 is very important to be very linear, because if you have a jagged edge in here, you will notice it. If you have a big cam, like let's say at 800 on one of these things, you have a, oh, oops, my bad. Okay, 800. Okay, here we go. 2.3. You see it? What that's going to do to your car is when you push the clutch in, it'll fall really fast. If 2.3 is higher than the rest of you, it's going to fall. It's going to hit 2.3 in the ECU. It's going to still drop a little bit, and then it's going to go whoom, 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 and the idle is going to start swinging. It's going to hunt really hard, because it's not an easy number for the car, because it's going, oh, 1.5, 2.3, I don't know. So it's going to end up summarizing in the middle, probably once you come to a complete stop, and your car sounds like it's not really running that well. And that's not very good. So, alright, now let's back to the same. Now what you're going to do is flash this to the car. And you can do it again if you want to just double check it. But, I mean, that's pretty much all it is. It's very simple. I'm only doing this to help other people out, because it took me a while to figure this out. If you're a beginner, this is what you're going to spend most of your time on. You're going to say, oh, every time I go for a rod, I push the clutch in, and it just shuts off. Pardon my French. But I can't get the car to stay. I can't get it to stay at idle. It hunts, or it falls on its face. You really gotta spend the time and figure out how to tune something correctly. Like end up with numbers like this. How smooth that is. Perfect. Runs great, huge cam, blower car, everything. Ran great NA when it was a nitrous car too. And I mean, that's pretty much it. And depending on how many hits I get and see if it's worth it, I might make another one to figure out, over here, adaptive, overspeed, park neutral, and gear. How to get a good, these are pretty much maxed out to help the huge cam. Same thing on everyone. Look at that, unified. It's almost as good as sloppy mechanics. Almost. But as you can see, oh, there's nothing over here. I wonder why. But unified. That's the key. Don't tell your computer to do 6 different things at once. It won't be happy with you. But, alright. Thank you guys. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up on Facebook if you know who I am, or right here. Have a good day.